Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Bellingham. So glad you're joining us. Each Sunday I've been offering a gratitude piece before we go to our opening songs. And today I'd like to offer this gratitude. As I walk this land, this beautiful land that the center is built on, over 7 acres, I am grateful for the indigenous people who walked this land long before this center was ever a dream in anyone's mind. I'm grateful for the gift of the beautiful forests that surround the center, the meadows. And I hold that people from ancient times to the present honor the spirit of what this land means, a place of healing, a light in the forest. In gratitude for that, we turn now to our musician, Amber Darlin, and some wonderful opening songs.
Well, good morning, CSL Bellingham, and everybody who's tuned in today. Thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and sing All Is Well. I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new, and don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should. Sing all is well, all is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well and unfolding as it should. I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am love and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should. Sing it out, here we go. All is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well and unfolding as it should. Let's sing all is well one more time. Here we go. All is well, all is well. Even Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well and unfolding as it should. All is well and unfolding as it should. Yes, all is unfolding just as it should. Take a minute if you're out there in social media land, on YouTube or Facebook. This is a great time to say hello to your spiritual community. Let us know where you're from and just say hello to all our friends out there. It sure is nice to have the platforms to be able to connect even if we are not in person right now. All right, let's sing My Soul is Welcome Here. We are in the right place at the right time. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Clap, clap. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Are you clapping? My soul is welcome here. 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 All right, well, thanks for singing along. We're going to move on over to our practitioner of the day for an invocational prayer.
Good morning, and welcome to the CSL Bellingham. I'm Deb Dole, and I'm the practitioner today. Please join me in an opening invocation. This morning, we gather here on this alive, windy, and interactive earth, aligning ourselves with the one presence, the one power, the one source we call spirit, excuse me, divine intelligence, and a myriad of other names that speak to us. Take just a moment with me and simply breathe into this moment. This moment, it's what is alive, it's what life is, and it is love. How good it is to come together this morning to celebrate the truth of our beingness and to have the opportunity to be reminded of what it means to restore and renew. Dr. Andrea will be speaking about a place where we stand, and we know that we can't keep being that way, but we don't really know who we're becoming. Let us each be full of the knowledge that all we need to do is take the first step, and Spirit will say, "Oh, what a fine direction to go." We are a gift of the universe and a gift to the universe, and we can act courageously and competently as we step forward. Thank you for this day to walk an unexpected and spirited path. May our feet be in the dirt and planted firmly as we walk. Welcome to all of us, every single one of us, near and far. I am deeply aware of this moment in time, a moment in which much can be changed. I am so grateful for these teachings, for Dr. Andrea, and for our community. We are a force in the world, and so it is.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love. Let's sing that again. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. Well, let's sing one more song together as part of this musical meditation. Sometimes we can forget just how perfect we actually are. And not perfect meaning we've got everything all perfectly figured out in our lives, but just that we are a sacred human and we're divinely created, and everything that we do is an expression of that infinite. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. All of me designed to perfection. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me beautiful and sacred, a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. Let's sing all is love, all is light. 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 All of me pure light divine. All of me designed to perfection. All of me beautiful and sacred. All of me a wonder, expression of the infinite. All of me pure light divine. All is love. All is love, all is light. All is love, all is light. All is love, all is light. All of me pure light divine. All is love, all is light. All is love, all is light. All is love. all of me, pure light divine.
Perfect song, Amber, for our theme of the month, How It All Belongs. And Deb, that was the perfect prayer for this morning's theme, which is Out on the Edge. Actually, I picked that title, Out on the Edge, a while ago, and then I realized, well, actually there's a subtitle called The Terror of New Possibilities, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. I chose for today a quote from Kurt Vonnegut, and it goes like this: I want to stand as close to the edge as I can without going over. Out on the edges, you can see all kinds of things you can't see from the center. And every time I read that quote, I think about going to the Grand Canyon and being right on the edge of the canyon and feeling the pull of like not wanting to fall in, but feeling like I'm going to. And that is actually one of the places I wanted to speak about that we all get to on the spiritual path. So on the spiritual path, whether you're brand new and you're learning all kinds of new principles for spiritual living, or you've been traveling for a long time, doesn't matter. There are times on the path all the way through until we pass from this life where we come to edges. And those edges are choice points. They're places where we have the opportunity to kind of see a broader view, new possibilities. And if you're like me, and I suspect you are, those new possibilities are alluring and insightful and energizing, but they're also terrifying, because at every choice point, at every edge we come to, it really is like we have to choose again to be new. And it means letting go of habits that we've had. It means letting go of ways we've been living sometimes. Sometimes it means letting go of a job or people we love. And those edges, they're terrorizing as well as energizing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how to work with those today. And so, you know, what Deb was saying is what she and I were talking about before we got to the service, which was that, you know, we all, when we're standing on the edge, we know that we've been shown that edge because we're ready to make a leap, to make a change, to make something new happen in our consciousness and in our lives. But a lot of times, as she said in her prayer, we don't exactly know what the next right step is. We don't exactly have that all downloaded. There's not a step-by-step plan, which often is what stops us. So the best person I ever heard who talks about this is Mary Oliver. And so I thought I would bring you her recipe for what you do when you're standing on an edge. You know you have to change. You know you have to go forward. And she wrote a poem about that, and it's called The Journey. Maybe you've heard it before. I certainly have read it from time to time. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble, and you felt that old tug at your ankles, mend my life, each voice said, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. It's a very powerful poem, and it reaches people at different places of the edge that they're standing on. For some who have been in abusive relationships or have stayed too long in a marriage or a job, the the determined to save the only life you could save is the line that catches people and supports them in taking the next step. For me, the whole poem is resonant with the challenge, the energizing power of realizing that that step has to be taken, but also the difficulty and the terror of taking it. Because it's not like going out of agreement with everything that has been your life is just going to be fine. You know, there are going to be places, inner voices, as well as perhaps outer voices that are saying, wait, don't go. You know, we can fix this. We can, you know. So it's a great poem for what I'm pointing to on the spiritual path of one of the edges we encounter. But there's another edge. There's so many. There's another edge. And I didn't bring the poem with me today because I know you have heard this poem. If you were in American middle or high school, you heard this poem. You might even have had to memorize this poem and recite it. It's a poem by Robert Frost called The Road Less Traveled, The Road Not Taken, depending on which version you get. And in that poem, you know, he's painting this picture of being out in a yellow wood, so I'm assuming autumn, and he comes to a place where two roads diverged in that wood. And he stood at that crossroads. I'm getting goosebumps. He stood at that crossroads, and he looked as far as he could down one way, and he looked as far as he could down the other. And they both were actually in the poem, I just reread it this morning, they both were fine. They both were traveled enough. But the one that he chose was the one less traveled. And the ending line in that poem is, and that has made all the difference. If you're listening to me, the chances are you've already taken the road less traveled. Sadly, the spiritual path is actually fairly empty these days. And so if you're walking that path, you're walking with some pretty special people who are engaged in meeting their edges and then moving beyond them. That particular edge is one that I met very recently. And so I'm thinking about how that was for me. And as I was thinking about it, I remembered a story. It is a universal story. You find it in almost every culture. I looked it up this week preparing for the talk, and it's everywhere. So I'm just going to give you Andrea's version, okay? Because I'm Irish heritage. I thought I'd place this story in Ireland, but it's also placed in Czechoslovakia. It's placed in Africa. It's placed in Canada. There's all kinds of stories. Here's my version. So there was a man who lived in a very small village in the west of Ireland. And his life was very, very simple. He didn't have a lot of money. He worked really hard to sustain himself. And he, you know, got up every morning and did his work and came home and made himself food every night and then went to bed and got up and did the same thing every single day and night. So one night, as he fell asleep, he had a dream. And in the dream, there was a voice that called his name and then said, "You need to go to the distant city where you will find a castle and a drawbridge. And buried beneath the drawbridge is a treasure beyond measure. You need to go and dig up the treasure." So in the morning, he woke up and he remembered the dream. But you know how it is with dreams. They're sort of like edges. You can ignore them for a while. So he just went about his business, and day in and day out. But after a few days, he went to sleep and he had the dream again, the exact same dream. You need to go to the far city where there is a castle with a drawbridge and there's treasure buried beneath the drawbridge. You need to dig that up. It's yours. Well, he woke up the next morning remembering the dream, and he thought to himself, you know, I can't do that. I have things I have to do. I can't do that, which is what we do when we're on an edge sometimes. And so he kept doing his regular life, but you guessed it. the dream visited him for a third time after a few days. And it was the exact same dream. He heard his name called. He was shown the castle. He was shown the drawbridge. He was told to dig up the treasure under the drawbridge. And he woke up in the morning and he thought to himself, I'm going to have to do this. And so he spent the day packing up the few things he felt he would need for the journey. This was in a time and a place where, there weren't 7-Elevens on every corner. So he had to prepare. He had to have what meager money he had and food for the journey. And the next day, bright and early, before any of the other villagers were awake, off he went. And the journey was long. It was not a short way to that castle. And as he traveled that road, seeking to follow the dream's advice, he became changed by the journey. It was not always easy. It was not a journey that was incredibly pleasant or in some ways even fathomable. He didn't understand even why he had set out, but he kept going anyway. And so eventually, his clothes became kind of ragged, his shoes were kind of torn. He was starting to run out of food, and he came to a large city. And as he walked into the city gates, that voice that had been in the dream said, keep going toward the center. Keep going toward the center. So he kept going. He kept going and going into the city until he came to the very center, and there before him was the castle of his dream with the drawbridge. And he was amazed that he had arrived at the very place where this dream had spoken to him about. And he could see that, he could dig under the drawbridge, but there was just one problem. The castle was being guarded on that side of the drawbridge by a host of armored guards who were festooned with armor and all kinds of weapons and were walking back and forth guarding the castle. And so he came right up to the edge of the drawbridge and froze. And he didn't know what to do, because he feared that if he crossed the drawbridge, they would kill him. And so that whole day, he walked back and forth, trying to decide what to do. Should he just go home? He'd made it all this way, but if he tried, he might get killed. Have you ever had that feeling? Might not be a true feeling, but at the edge, that's one of the voices that comes up, is the fear that if we take this step, something terrible will happen. So he backed away and he found a place to rest for the night. He came back bright and early in the morning, stood at the foot of that drawbridge, and he still couldn't figure out what to do. So that next day, he walked back and forth and back and forth. And pretty soon, day after day, as he walked back and forth, not being able to decide what to do, he had actually created a rut where he was walking. That's a metaphor, by the way. And eventually, after many, many weeks of him walking back and forth, the captain of the guard crossed the drawbridge and in a kindly voice said, "You seem to be troubled about something. Can you tell me what's happening for you, and can I help you?" And so the man thought to himself, well, I could lie and I could just say, something, or I could tell him the truth and he might think I'm an idiot. And he decided he would tell him the truth. So he just said, I had this dream, and I had it 3 times, and it said that I was to go to a big city where there was a castle and a drawbridge, and under the drawbridge there was a treasure buried, and I was to dig up the treasure. But it didn't say anything about armed guards, and I've been afraid this whole time that you would kill me. And the captain of the guards looked at him for a moment, and he laughed, and he said, "Oh, those dreams, they're so silly. Why, I had one last night. And that dream was about a man who had come to my city and had all of a sudden realized that he had this treasure that was buried behind the fireplace in his hut. And so he raced from the city to his home, and he began to take apart the fireplace bricks. And sure enough, there was a box, and in the box was a treasure untold. Aren't those dreams silly? And the man, with wide eyes, turned on his heel and raced for home. And he didn't stop. He walked day and night until he got to his very own hut. And it's nighttime by then, and he goes into the hut and he starts taking apart the fireplace. And sure enough, there behind the fireplace bricks is a box. He opens the box and it's full to overflowing with gold coins. And he thinks to himself, what should I do with this wealth? And he thought, this is not mine. This whole journey has been about something greater. And so what he decided to do, this is one version of the story, is he decided to take the money and build a beautiful hall in his village where every one of the villagers was invited to come and speak of their dreams. And within a very short amount of time, the dreams that the villagers had spoken to began to manifest themselves in wonderful things all over the country, not just in the village. And that's the story. So the story came to me because I was thinking about the crossroads that I've been at in a part of my life. And as a spiritual traveler that's come to edge after edge, I knew where I was standing. I just was walking back and forth. Because for what happens for a lot of us spiritual travelers when we've been walking a long way is we know that those two roads that diverge in the wood are a choice point that is going to mean not only wonderful new expression, but a heck of a lot of work. And I was at the choice point where I was very aware that if I chose one way, it would be rewarding and full of possibility and full of new energy, but it would also be difficult and a lot of work. And the other road, as I looked at it, was like, no, why not just like the captain of the guards? Why not just same old, dreams are silly. Why don't we just, keep doing what we've been doing? Look, it looks just fine. It's an easy path. Why not just do that? Fortunately for me, I've had enough experience with those inner voices of mine to say, when my voice says, let's keep it the same, it's so easy, why don't we just do that? A red flag comes up, just like the man hearing the captain of the guard's dream. And I go, oh no, that's not the right way for me. I need to go the way that it may be more work, but it will be new energy and full of possibilities and full of the treasure that I've always been seeking, the treasure of spiritual awakening. So where are you? Where are you in your journey? And does this story resonate with you? Is it time for you to stand on the edge and, like Mary Oliver, not keep standing there, but maybe take the next step in the journey? Or are you like me and standing in a crossroads and at a choice point? And maybe you're somewhere else, but you'll remember that story and you'll remember this talk for the next time that you come to your edge of possibility. It's always, always accompanied by a little bit of fear, sometimes a lot. And the fear can shut us down and keep us in a rut for so long that we forget the dream. And I would hate to see that happen to me or you. So listen to the dream of your life and walk the path with me, engaged and ready for new adventures and the next right step. To prepare for that, let me do a prayer for myself and for you. Here and now in this moment, I stand as I always have on a path of great possibility, a path of energy and love, supported by an inner divine that has no limit and knows no limit for me. And so as I remember that, I take a good look at the limits that I've placed on myself, recognizing them for what they are, the easy way. And I release them, ready to engage fully in new ideas, new dreams, and new possibilities. Oh yes, I fully expect that from time to time I will be terrified. But I know how to do that and not lose my way. I remember that fear is actually a companion to growth, and that when treated rightly, it's an energizing force that allows me to propel myself forward into the ideas, the dreams, and the understandings that now are calling me. I know this is true for you too. And so I invoke courage. I invoke awake, alive, and alert energy so that the dreams that we have, the new ideas, have room in our minds and hearts to develop and to propel us into the next right step. Supported by an energy that has no limit, how can we fail truly? We can't. And so I'm grateful for the presence of that unlimited, ever powerful love and energy that supports me and you at all times. Onward, pilgrim, onward, together. And so it is. All right. So I want to switch gears here and tell you a little bit about what's happening at the center. Today, there's a men's group happening at noon, and it's being offered via Zoom. And if you would like the Zoom link, you can either go to our website or you can email Philip Flores, the men's coordinator, at philintexas@gmail.com, and he'll send you the link. That's at noon today. Also today at 4 p.m., there's a Zoom meeting for you who love to garden and would like to assist us in building up our victory garden for this year. We're in the planning stages, and this is a planning meeting, so at 4 p.m., if you would like to join those gardeners, we'd love to have you, whether you've ever helped us or you're brand new to this. The Zoom link is in the calendar, so go there and you'll find it, 4 o'clock. And then mark your calendars for our annual general meeting. This will be the second year that we've offered the meeting via Zoom, which actually is a lovely platform for this kind of meeting. And it's going to be on March 28th this year at noon. So come and be a part of hearing how this last year has been for our center, what our plans are for this year and beyond, and help me welcome some new board members and thank some board members that are going off the board this year. It'll be about an hour long and a really wonderful meeting. You're welcome to come if you'd like. We have a new book study that's happening. It's being offered by our Earth Stewards team. We have a core value of being stewards, really good stewards of our finances, our center, and the land and the earth. And so the Earth Stewards are very active in finding ways that we can do good work to be stewards of the earth. So they're presenting a wonderful 6-week book study on a new book that's just come out. It's called All We Can Save. It's written by 2 women who are very active in the field of climate change science, and they are wonderful storytellers in the book, and we'd love you to join this book study. You need to sign up by this Wednesday, however, so that we can make sure that we have the roster ready for the Earth Stewards. The book is available at our local bookstore as well as Amazon, All We Can Save. And if you buy it at our local bookstore, they're offering a 15% discount for this book club offering. So it'll start on March 31st at Wednesday. It's an hour and a half long from 6 to 7:30. And you're more than welcome to come and be a part of that book study, absolutely free. I'm doing 2 things that I wanted to tell you about. They're both in April. We've been closed, as you know, for over a year now. And last year, Easter didn't happen. I mean, it happened, but it didn't happen here. And we have some traditions that we do around the Easter celebration that I'm bringing back, but I'm bringing them back outside. And so we are going to have an Easter personal blossoming ceremony, which is the ritual that we've done for many years, long before I even got here. And that will be at noon on April 4th in the Upper Meadow. You are, if you're local, you're invited to come and be a part of that wonderful ceremony. And we just simply ask that you respect the Washington State guidelines. So wear a mask, practice physical distancing, but the upper meadow is sufficient to house a number of people. So we'd love you to come and be a part of it. I did not ask for anybody to sign up for this, but if you wanted to let me know you're coming, we'll make sure we have plenty of flowers for the blossoming. After the personal blossoming, I'm doing an interesting thing with some of my friends, and you're welcome to join us if you would like. Because of the pandemic, I have chosen to walk in the cemetery where very few live people are. And as I've been walking in the local cemeteries, many of them, I've noticed the older graves, you know, the ones from the 1800s and early 1900s that no one is alive to tend to now. And so little by little, I've gotten kind of acquainted with all these people under the ground there who had lives like mine. And so after the personal blossoming, I'm inviting my friends and you, if you'd like to be a part of it, to take the flowers from the blossoming ceremony and go to the local cemetery and clean some of those graves for as long as we want, 10 minutes, half an hour, and then lay flowers on those graves. So this is an ancient tradition that actually is traditionally done, oddly, on April 4th, which Easter falls on April 4th this Sunday. So you're invited to come and be a part of that if you would like. The other thing I'm doing is I'm offering a 2-hour seminar called Medicine for the Spirit. And it's a quick look at stories that assist us, like the ones we heard today, in finding the medicine for our spirit as we walk a spiritual path. There'll be some poetry, there'll be some interactive things, there'll be some writing prompts, and it's an opportunity to spend time together looking at our personal path and fine-tuning what the next right step is. So that one is happening on April 6th, and it goes from 6 to 8, and it's being offered by Zoom. So if you're one of our long-distance viewers, I'd love to have you join us. It's an opportunity to be together far and near. And our practitioners continue to offer the most amazing things Monday through Friday. Morning prayers at 7 via Zoom, evening gratitudes, which often include music, Monday through Friday at 8:45, and a midweek meditation that's going to be going through the end of March, and then they think they're going to bring that to a close. So don't miss the opportunity if you have time to do one of these things and participate in spiritual living with them. They're an incredible crew. All right, thank you so much for your donations to our center, for your support of me and the incredible work that we're doing here as a community. Right now I'm going to send you back to Amber for one last song, and thanks again for coming.
That warms this body, for the earth that we call home, for the love that knows no boundary. I am thankful for the trees that line the mountains, for the sea and life it holds, for the source of inspiration. I am thankful. Love, light, life, fill me up. Peace, power, beauty, joy, fill me up. For the one infinite divine that is and ever was. I am thankful. I am thankful for abundance and growing, for the mystery unfolding, for each and every being, sacred truth we are knowing, for kindness and compassion and the courage to take action, for the law of attraction and the freedom to create. Love, light, life, fill me up. Peace, power, beauty, joy, fill me up. For the one infinite divine that is and ever was. I am thankful. I am thankful. Love and light, love, light, life, fill me up. Peace, power, beauty, joy, fill me up. For the one infinite divine that is and ever was. I am thankful. I am thankful for the sun that warms this body, for the earth that we call home, for the love that knows no boundary. I am thankful. Blessings to you all, and we'll see you again soon.